One, two, three, four.
I think we're all processing it in so many different ways. For me specifically, it was really like a stopping the kind of like perpetual forward motion and like a kind of linear approach to a career. Like, now you do this and you're bad if you don't do this, and oh no, I'm not getting this, and that kind of ladder. And so to just have it all be taken away, it's like, what's left? And why do I want to do this in the first place? I can weirdly say in this moment that there's something that I'm kind of thankful for in a weird way, because I think it stopped me in my tracks in terms of like taking care of me, both in a self-care way, but also as an artist, and like the question of what do you want to make? Because there's something interesting about once that door opens, it feels like I remember feeling like, okay, so this is when like I get to play, like with all the people on the playground, and being so excited by that. But the door opens and I feel like you see other doors all of a sudden. You're like, oh, there's more doors. Okay. And I mean, immediately after doing Waitress for the national tour for a year and then Broadway, um, it's a little bit of a winding journey. But I remember feeling like, okay, I'm ready to do something completely different, and the sort of door that I opened was into like a musical theater world, which is awesome and amazing, and I'm sort of intimidated by and like still stunned by amazing prowess. But there's a whole many more doors of mine that I was like, but I got to keep this one open too, and this, and I was feeling that. And then like I lost a pregnancy, and it was this weirdly almost at the same time the year prior, so in 2019, a big halt and a big stopping in my tracks. And so it's really bizarre to have to do it almost for the same amount of time again, and kind of just listen like to the universe, whatever it is, and be like, what do I need to take from this? um, and I came out of that and did an amazing world premiere of a Will Eno show, and worked with a whole nother spectrum of incredible New York artists. Like, felt like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. This, like, I want my playground to be vast and huge, and to be like, let's play this game, and just kind of juggle and enjoy. And that's always been how I've approached it. But I feel like there's something about that ladder I was mentioning, or the proverbial door or whatever, that can feel limiting and confining, and to your own brain. And something about the pandemic hit me in a place that was like, you have been thinking that way, and it's not how you produce, or how you're not I'm not able to bring my best self and my most creative self. It's like I was feeling like I was starting to jam it into a funnel to produce something, and then really getting into a position of critiquing myself in a way that didn't it was starting to just not feel healthy. And so I'm in a way thankful that I had that stop. I wish I didn't need as long of one, but it has really sat me down, and it was like being put in a corner and time out, and like what was wanting to come out. I wasn't extremely productive and I've been having to find my own kind of reckoning with like what my productivity is and what my creativity is, and um, you know finding what that voice is again, that feels very childlike and young, that led me to acting, but like led me to storytelling as well. It led me to the music that we've bonded over, and also writing that we've shared. Um, and it sort of has felt like those things have become so far and polar and disparate in my life, especially if you have success in like one very linear track. And it's been a long 7 months of kind of pulling these tethers kind of back to me. And so I'm in the process of that. It's wild and kind of tough, but it's kind of like rediscovering who I am. pretty much right after the last album released, which is, you know, more of a vocal record. I was like, the next plan was like to have one be more of my writing, and I'd gone through divorce, and you know, then a new love, and then a new marriage, and then loss. I About a year ago basically had like all, I was like, I have an album. I have an album of songs that speak to something um, that's actually about this sort of 8 years of my life that's extremely transformative. I think the last song I've written now for it is called Phoenix, and it's like, it feels like that, um, that kind of creation or destruction and creation, you know, of self. And then there's always the sort of assumption in my book that there's going to be another destruction and then recreation. But it's really neat, you know. I think I started writing it thinking, oh, this is going to be like a breakup record and it's going to be about a divorce, and then it's like, no, it's interesting to now be about seeing from here that person writing from that pain, and this love, and this new joy, and then this loss. And it's very palpable for me. It's just hard to now kind of take the next step and like let that go. I think especially with this election, I've just, the thing that keeps coming in is like empathy and equality, empathy and equality. And it's like this become this sort of mantra of mine of like, when I feel like there's something more I should be doing, I go to that. When I feel like I'm about to lose it because I'm there, I can't do anything more just for my own, you know, self-care thing. That's what I keep coming back to. And the way that this career of, and I include music and stage and film and all that in it, puts you in someone else's shoes, and you just have to, your job is to try to understand them and try to be them and tell their story, and basically practice and stretch the muscle of empathy. Um, Even just to, it's going to sound crazy, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like understand what, I hate that I'm using this language, but what the other side is thinking. Like, what are you? Why would anyone vote for a man like this? You know, like, even if we use that radical tool of empathy to get in there to elucidate something, you know, because I can't just have understanding and empathy and compassion for the people I want to. I have to use it. I think like it's like a moral, ethical thing, not to forgive them, but to understand how we're getting here and to make it better. And I think that's a really radical tool that I love when theater does that, and just pushes the boundaries and challenges it, and I don't know, forces us to not just say like anti-racism, yeah, but to look it in the face. I think we're talking a lot about self-care in a way that is really hopeful to me, because having gone through a pregnancy loss while being in a Broadway show, it was, I called out of a show because that's what was happening, you know, and didn't go back. And I I don't think I've always been modeled by our society of like how best to like take care of yourself. And I think it's been, I'm going on a tangent here, but like it's been a way that a lot, for especially like women's health and women, anything that has to do with anything like our sexual organs, it's not talked about. And um we just can go away and try to become invisible. And I feel like art is one of those places that like tells those stories and makes things visible that have not been. And I know, having gone through some things that have been made invisible in our society, when I see art decide to confront those things, and even just in telling the story, it's, oh my God, you feel seen, and you feel part of something, feel part of the collective. And so people feel seen who aren't seen through this pandemic, the mental health issues. I've lost a friend amidst this, you know, to suicide, because of the difficulties. Like, it's there's so many ripple effects of being human in this time. And I think so art can be that escape, but I think it also can help us be able to process, but see ourselves and things that we didn't even know we were making invisible, kind of visible even to ourselves again.